Hello and welcome to today's video. This time we'll be taking a look through my most recent vintage Matchbox pickups. So sit back, relax, and let's get to it. Okay then, so we got 17, 18 or so vintage Matchbox cars to look at today, and I've sorted them into date order, which means that we're starting with this one. So this is the earliest one I've got. This is number 23A, and it's the Berkeley Cavalier Caravan. And this one dates from 1956. So I've picked up a few Matchbox from a Matford Fair. I've picked up some from the Shepton Mallet Toy Fair, and also a trip to Ogwell Antiques, which is in Newton Abbot, and they also sell Matchbox cars in that place as well. And this is actually a really nice one. Got this one at the Shepton Fair, so I was pleased to get this. I mean, I'm not a massive fan of caravans or anything like that, but it was nice to get this one sort of off the list. It's got a little bit of a chip along the top there, but nothing too serious. Still got the little sticker on the back, which is really nice. Now, what I'm going to do as we go along, I'm just going to give these the most careful of careful cleans. Now, I've got this little toothbrush, and this is an absolutely ancient toothbrush. It's really old. The bristles are super soft, and believe me, they're not going to scratch it in any sort of way at all. And I'm going to be very, very gentle and just get in the little areas where potentially a little bit of dust could have settled. So that's going to be stage one, like so. And then I've got a very soft duster here, and I've got some just Mr. Sheen, which is furniture polish. And what I do, I just get one corner of the duster impregnated, as it were, with Mr. Sheen, and I just delicately just go over the paintwork there, and this lifts off any sort of fingerprints in that. And this one has got a few. Might be a bit tricky to see, but little bits of dust and dirt and fingerprints lift off quite nicely then. Certainly not a bad one, but I think you'll agree. I don't know if you can see it, but the top of the caravan there looks so much better than what it did. So that's it. That's all that one needs. And that's a really, really nice little example, that one. Now, I won't have chance today to get these all filed away in my cabinet. I'm going to put them on a shelf which I've got completely empty, so I'll get them all lined up on there. But in my main display, I've actually got the my Matchbox vehicles. They're all in date order, which is fantastic. I'm really, really enjoying doing that. Now, here's a couple of odd bits here. So this is a little Matchbox badge. I forget which one this actually came with, but this came with one of the cars. And I bought one of the Matchbox toys, and I said, oh, I've been after one of those badges, and they said, oh, we just take it, it's fine. So he threw it in, which was good. And this one here, this is the first Jaguar. This is from 1957, and I do have one of these, but the driver is actually a replacement. It's not the real thing. I think mine's, even the one I've got, has got the stickers on, but this was just basically a little upgrade. I would love to get a nice boxed one of these, but I suppose being Jaguar, it is a little bit more expensive. It's a real absolute classic car, isn't it? But still a really, really nice one to get that. So we'll pop those over there. But yeah, I like the badge as well. I think there's a couple more of those. Now, the next one is the Army Half Truck M3. This is from 1958. Now, there was a little caveat with this one, because when I think I bought it from the same people who had the caravan, and this one, which I believe is very, very common, the treads, the tracks, I should say, are very prone and brittle to breaking. Look at this. Look, they're breaking in my hand here. So, and I knew that before I bought it. It's absolutely, as I said, very, very common with this particular one. So what I have got, and I bought these off eBay, is two replacement tracks here. So these should fit on nicely. I haven't tested them yet, so I'm hoping that they do. But what I'll do first, I'll just give the actual vehicle a bit of a dust, so you can see. This is a classic example. Well, hopefully you can see that there's dust which is settled where that one's been on display. So I'm going to get my toothbrush in first of all to hopefully get most of that removed. Because this one's definitely picked up some dust, or it's been on a shelf or in a cabinet or something like that. It is inevitable when they're outside the boxes that they're going to pick up some dust. And we give the tracks themselves a bit of a dust. Now, I will just rub my cloth once again along the edges here. It's a bit of a wet day here. I'm out in the studio in the garden. You wouldn't believe it was, July as I film this, early July, and we're actually in a period of bad weather, which is a bit rubbish, isn't it? But there you go. Right, so let's see how easy these are going to be to get on. I hope not too difficult. Oh, I'm having to pull it a bit. Oh, almost had it. There we are. And now the other ends come out. I guess there's a technique. There we are. There we are. I think that's on fairly straight. Let's try the other side. Give it a little stretch first, just to ease it out. But yeah, this is quite a common thing with rubber and old toys. They just, the rubber over time perishes, and it needs to be replaced. There we are. So that actually feels really good. That's quite a nice fit, that one. So I'm pleased with that, actually. That's nice. And I haven't got many military ones, just a handful. So that's a good one to get out of the way now. And that looks really, really nice. I'm very, very pleased with that one. When you think it's from 1958, it's a real nice vintage vehicle. Now, the next one I bought is the Ford Wreck truck. This is number 13C. So it's a later one from 1960. Now, I was fully aware that the box is a bit the worse for wear, which it is. So this one won't be going in my cabinet in the box. I'm just going to keep the box as is. I'm not going to try and repair it. I mean, this tape's very, very old. It would probably come off without too much problem. But I'm just going to put that to one side. And this one's going to be listed in my collection as just a nice loose one, which is absolutely fine with me until something better should come along. But look at that, lovely labels on it as well. The AA and RAC Matchbox Garages Breakdown Service. Huh. Yeah, it's in pretty nice condition, that one as well. I quite like that. Really, really nice bright red colour on that one. Now, I don't think this one's been on display, but there is some dust right down there, and I can't get into it in the normal manner of things. So what I'm going to do, I've got this small screwdriver, which I'm going to put underneath, just so I can just move the duster into that corner there. And that hopefully is going to do the trick with that one. That's fine. So yeah, so that one's going to be also a loose one. So I'll put him at the top or in the front there next to the Jag. But really, really, really nice model, that one. I think it's very, very nice indeed. Now we move on to the next sort of design, which is this one. Now this is the Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow, and this one was bought by my daughter for Father's Day. So once again, and she is getting better, but sadly this box is a little bit too warm for me with my strict standards. So I am going to keep it like I do with all my boxes, but I'm not going to put it out in the display case. I'm just going to have this one as a loose one in my cabinet. And all I do, we just run the. It's pretty nice condition. This one. It's just because it's been boxed, but the box itself is a little bit the worse for wear. So I'd rather not have it displayed in a box, which is fine. Just rubbing this once again. It's still reasonably damp over the back and the boot there. That was actually once again, a really nice example. Really nice clean bottom. It's not been played with, has it? So that one there is another one that's going to be loose. So 2 nice boxed ones and 3 loose. The next one we've got is this, which is 26, and it's the GMC tipper truck, and this one was from 1968, and this one is boxed, and the box has got a small sticker removal mark, unfortunately, very, very small, but I think he is okay. I've actually got one of these loose, but this was like £5. I didn't want to leave it behind, really. It was such a great price, so I am going to have this one, and I will keep the box. It'll be boxed like that, which should be fine, and I will, of course, compare the one that I've got to this one, but I think this one's going to be far superior to the loose one that I've got of this. So I said, just very, very carefully. All I'm doing really with this is just dislodging the dust that may have accumulated. And once again, this one, he's in such lovely condition. I don't think there's been much dust at all, if any, in actual fact, that's accumulated. He's just perfect, isn't he? Nothing to do. Really, there is nothing to do on that one, so that is absolutely great. Let's pop that up there. Try not to damage any of the other ones while we're at it. Right, I think we've got room for one more, which is this one. And before we get onto the super fast ones that I've picked up, and this is 63C, the Dodge Crane truck. There we are, Dodge Crane truck. Once again, a really nice box on that one. Very pleased with that one. That will look lovely in the display cabinet. And yeah, don't remember ever having this one at all, or even seeing it as a youngster. No, it's slightly before the period when I actually had them as a kid, but at the same time, a lot of the 60s ones, you know, carried on into the 70s, didn't they? Yeah, it looks like it's not the cleanest of paint jobs on this. It looks like the yellow's not adhered perfectly on this one. But it's all right. I'm still actually really happy with that one. Can't see any marks on it at all. Not on the head, so I don't think that's been played with at all. So that is really quite a nice little addition. I don't mind the sort of the practical vehicles, as it were, as opposed to the leisure ones. I think it's something Matchbox did really well. So there we are. So that's the initial batch, and I think what I'll need to do now is make a bit more room, because we've got loads more still to go. Okay, so the next one we've got here is number 30, which is 30D, in fact, and it's the beach buggy. And this is a classic early 1970. In fact, it is 1970 is the year this one first got released. And you see we're now in the super fast boxes. These are really cool. And this was one that I had been quite keen to get my hands on. I do like all the funky 70s ones, and this is still before I ever had any as a kid. But yeah, they start adding on the crazy engines and the funky colours and the stickers and that. It's a very wild time in that Matchbox production. but I really like them. It's they're very much of their day, and yeah, that is that's excellent. That actually, really nice example. Really nice. It's, it doesn't look like there's a mark on this one, so I don't think there's much to do at all. Funky wheels in it as well. That is really nice, that one. Now it looks a bit wide for the box, to be honest, but for the sake of today, I'm going to pop him. He just fits on. But I think when I pop him in the cabinet, there we are. Might need to lean that box down a little bit because it may struggle actually to get on. I'm going to see if I can squeeze one more in on the end here, which is this one. So this is one I've already got. It's in my top 5 all-time favourite Matchbox cars, which is the Stretch Effecture, the ambulance, the crazy looking ambulance, and I don't know what it is about this particular model, but I just really love it. There are 3 versions of this one, and it's one of the select few that I've decided to try and get the different variants, including some of the 2-packs, which I haven't got any yet, but I'm on the lookout for them. I've seen 1 or 2 at the shows, but they've always been a bit wrecked. But yeah, this is definitely one of my favourites. But yeah, there's the American one, which is like a Viper. I think it's called the Viper van or something like that, which only ever came carded, and that was released much later in 1980. This Stretch Effecture first came out in 1972, and that's what this one is. And there's also a German one, which is does turn up, and it's in red colours. The American one I just was telling you about is in green, and the German one is in red. And the only one I'm missing is the German one, but I'd like to crack one of those down. But when they turn up on eBay. They're about 40 quid, bit more than I want to be paying for that at the moment. So that it just doesn't quite fit, does it? Is he in there? I want to keep him in the picture because we're going to fill up the table here. Next one we got then is Piston Popper. Now, Piston Popper was from 1973, and this was the sort of period I started getting them bought for me. I was only a very young boy in 1973, but I don't think I ever had this one. Not that I can remember. It's just sort of typical 70s funk, really, isn't it? This one, great box art, and I really like this. I call it the Stars and Stripes box, but obviously it's just the more colourful 75s on the side. Just great, really lovely. Yeah, another one of those funky ones with the huge bouts of chrome, and of course by this time the Mattel Hot Wheels are in full swing, and Matchbox had a little bit of competition. Or I should say even more competition, I should say. Now that one's absolutely fine once again. It wasn't that dusty, but I just can't resist just popping my ever so slightly damp cloth along the top edges there, just in case there was any odd sort of fingerprints in that. But to be honest, I try and be quite careful when I buy my Matchbox cars, and consequently they don't need like absolutely stacks and stacks of work doing on them, generally speaking. Right, next we have the Weasel. Now this is from 1974, and once again this is another military vehicle, isn't it? In like a metallic-y green. Now that box flap is a little bit folded there. He's all right, it's not perfect. This one's back into the slightly earlier super fast Rollermatics. There we are. So yeah, not a perfect box, but I think it will just do. It will just do. And this one I very much remember having as a child. I remember enjoying this one. I think there's a few different colours of this one as well. But like most of these, I'm just trying to get one example of each Matchbox car, with a few exceptions that I'd like to get a few variants of because I enjoy the different colours and that. But generally speaking, just one of each will do me on the whole. Not least of which because, you know, I don't really have the cabinet space. I will need to get a new cabinet fairly soon, I reckon. And as I said, at the end of this video, I will do a little collection tour again. These aren't going to go into date order because all my collection is by date, and I think that it looks really cool that way. But these, because I'm not going to pull the whole lot out. I usually do that once every couple of like wedges of new additions. So when I get the second lot done, I shall do a complete cabinet rework there, and I'll no doubt need to squeeze them in a little bit more. So this one is number 8G, and it's the Di Tomasano Panteria, and this is from 1975. This is more a sports car than one of the funky ones, and he is borderline, but it's just there. And I really like the colouring on this. Look at that. That is very nice indeed. I really like this one. Now I've got to admit, it does look a little bit dusty, a little bit like it's been on display. So I'm thinking this one will actually benefit quite a bit from a bit of polish on, but I need to be very careful of that sticker. I don't want to get any polish at all near any of the stickers, so it'll just be along the top edge here. But I really like that. That is great. And very carefully, just along the top, it looked like there was a little bit of black there, and that has in actual fact disappeared straight away, which is exactly what I was hoping to happen. Carefully avoiding the actual sticker. Okay, on the sides, they're all right there. Yeah, that's really that's a really nice one. That very nice indeed. Certainly not like anything I've got at the moment, so that's very funky. Once again, a bit of a balancing act with that. The car's wider than the box, but we'll plonk him there in the hope that he doesn't move. Okay, next we have another similar sort of vein, really. Vantastic, which is a bit of a weird name because it's not actually a van. I suppose, yeah, is it a van? I suppose you could call it a van. Once again, really nice colours on these ones. They are super cool. This one looks in tip-top shape again. Just running the old toothbrush over there, just in case. Just in case there's a little bit of dust on there, but to be honest, I don't think there is. That is just about as lovely as you're gonna ever want to get, aren't you? That is great. Yeah, very pleased with that. Lovely. Now, we are struggling a little bit for space here, but let's see if I can slide him in there. We're looking over the top as the camera flies, so hopefully you can still see some of the other ones just about. Right, well, we've got 4 more to do. I think I am going to need to make a tiny bit more room because we just don't have enough here, so let me just readjust once more. Okay, so we've just about got them in. Now the next one you might be seeing double because it's from 1978. That's when this was first released, and it's the Renault 5TL. And I've got 2 versions of this one, so I wasn't necessarily looking to get 2 versions of it, but it just sort of happened that way. So we've got the regular blue version here, and we've also got the rather funky Le Car version, Le Car, which is that one there. So a couple of different examples. I have to say I was never a massive fan of this car. I really wasn't, but I've ended up getting 2 of it, and I think there's at least 1 or 2 more That looks like it's got an opening boot on that one. I didn't realise that. Yeah, there's at least one other colour, maybe even another 2 colours of this one, but not for me. Thank you very much. I'm going to stick with these 2, and that'll be absolutely fine. I think the blue one is perhaps the most common. I think this one is perhaps a little bit more uncommon, but either way, I was very pleased to get the 2 versions. Let's give them a bit of a clean. So yeah, it was actually had slightly more to go through, but it's been a little while since we've done a recent Matchbox pickups video, and certainly I'm still enjoying collecting them and researching them and picking up the little catalogues and stuff like that. Great fun from that point of view. And certainly at the toy fairs, they've started to be a little bit, I don't know what it is, they're just a little bit harder to pick up now. And I think what I'm going to try and do is maybe, because I enjoy the early ones so much, maybe try and focus a little bit more on the early ones. But sometimes you just don't have a lot of choice. You just have to go with what's there. And but I think I get more satisfaction out of the really ancient ones rather than the more modern ones, you know. Right, 2 more to go then. So the next to last one is this, which is 46E, the Ford tractor and the harrow, which I think is the bit at the back, a bit like it's like a plough, isn't it? A plough system. This is from 1978. This is the period when I and a lot of my friends had Matchbox vehicles and toys. Big box on that, and the box is absolutely perfect. These ones don't tend to be that expensive to find, or to buy rather, when you find them. This particular one came from a stall that just sold sort of farm vehicles, and I know that that's a thing in its own right. And they had loads of tractors and farm stuff, not just Matchbox, loads of Corgi and Dinky examples, and that's where this one came from. And it's got this little plastic thing which comes with it, which goes on the back there like that. So I'm not sure, I might actually put mine in the cabinet with the little harrow, as it's called, on the back there, like so, something like that. Yeah, that's quite nice, isn't it? That's groovy. And then we have, sadly, the last one for this time round. So I don't think I've done very bad this time round. I've got some great stuff, but this one here is from 1982. So pretty much the last sort of year that I collect, up to about 82 is my cut-off, really. And it's a 1957 Ford Thunderbird. It's a classic American car. Beautiful box again on this one. And look at that. Gorgeous in its simplicity, I suppose you could say. Can't see a mark on this one, in all honesty. Maybe a couple of little fingerprints on the bonnet where it's been handled. Very light. Let's just wipe that last bit off, the last bit of bonnet. There we are. Gorgeous. So there you go. So here they all are in the cabinet. Now I've put all these new additions just on a shelf all to themselves for the time being. I will pop these in date order, which is how I display my main collection, when I've done another full wedge of vintage Matchbox. So when I've got this about this much again, I shall pull the whole lot out of both cabinets and I shall reassemble it and put them back into date order. But for now, have another look at the collection. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you like, considering it's been perhaps maybe 2 years, a little bit less, since I started collecting these, and I think the collection's really grown quite nicely. Anyway, thank you very much for watching today. If you've enjoyed it, do please give the video a thumbs up. Do please hit the subscribe button if you've not already for regular vintage diecast content, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye.